Hi, I'm Teresa Maron, and the healing power of gemstones at the spiritual level generally is accompanied by an intention, something along the lines of getting closer with your angels and with the Holy Spirit, or accessing the collective consciousness, like the Akashic Records, or even a shamanic journey. So my gem prescription for this is 12 crystal points, and we're going to do a grid. Now there are many different types of crystals, many different shapes, many different ways to use crystals, but the one we're going to be using today is kind of generic. This is simply the intention of a deeper meditation. So we're not going to add any wrinkles to it, like visiting the Akashic Records or meeting your spirit guides, something that we'll do in the future. But right now, let's just do a basic grid. We're going to get started. I like crystals that have at least one termination, or some of the crystals, of course, have a double termination. And this is quite exciting. But for our purposes today, any crystal is going to work. And what we're going to do is line these crystals up on either side of the chakras. We're going to point them all inward. All of the points are going to be going towards your client model or your chakra chart. Very nice. This is so much fun. And if you're trying this at home on some of your friends and loved ones, I think you'll be surprised at the effect that this does. Just having one crystal that's pointing down into the crown and one crystal that is pointing up from the base. So we've got, let me make sure I've got everything going on here. Have all the crystals pointing inward. I'm not going to put two crystals towards the crown here, and I'm going to have these crystals pointed just slightly at an angle. So this is sending all of the energy inwards and upwards, and that's going to make you take off like a spaceship. Okay, let's check the chakra activity here for base chakra. And I'm checking the chakra, not the stone. Do you see the difference here? Because it's a grid, I'm checking to see that the energy is pointing in the right direction and is making a difference on how this chakra activity is working. And this would be, when you have someone laying down and you're doing a grid, all of the crystals go around them. You don't place any on the actual body on this particular type of grid. Our meditation grid, our gem prescription today for gemstone healing at the spiritual level. Very exceptional. And this should stay for the duration of the meditation. And I strongly suggest that when you start working meditations with this type of grid, that you keep a journal handy right beside where you do your meditations, because I think you're going to have a lot to record. I'm Teresa Maron, and thank you so much for joining me for my spiritual gem prescription today. All right, Patty's had the stones on her for 15 minutes. Now let's check her chakra activity and see if there's any noticeable changes. First, base chakra. Well, I do believe there's a little more chakra activity. Sacral chakra. Now that's creativity and transformational power. Patty has a lot of creativity in her, and you can see that chakra energy is really revved up because of the stones. Solar plexus chakra. Now this one is less active with the stone on it, and what I perceive that to mean as a professional gemstone therapist is that there was a lot going on when Patty first laid down, and this stone is helping her process that and move it to the appropriate organ, endocrine, or body part. Heart chakra. Now, I've never met anyone that when I put this kunzite stone on them, that the heart chakra energy doesn't just start spreading. It really can go universal. Kunzite is a powerful stone. Look at that. And throat chakra with the aquamarine. Perfect for teaching, giving a presentation, asking for a raise. Third eye chakra. This is your intuition. This is to seek guidance or to just have better discernment, clarity, extra special sensory perception. And crown chakra. connection to divine spirit. And the white topaz is the most beautiful stone for that. Fabulous. All right, now let's ask Patty. How do you feel?
I feel great. I can really feel the vibration, particularly in the third eye.
The third eye is a very powerful stone.
And no, I just feel really settled and energetic at the same time.
Oh, that's a good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
All right, with Patty's permission, I'd like to show you one more gemstone therapy trick, and that's to use color therapy combined with it. Gemstone and color therapy are complementary therapies, and the reason for that is we can choose stones that complement the chakras by color. All right, starting with the base chakra, which is going to be a red stone or a black stone, orange, yellow, pink or green, blue, indigo, and clear or purple. Now, in order to really truly do a good color gemstone layout, what I'm going to do is switch them and amplify the energy with its complementary. That means the base chakra will be switched with the throat chakra. So number 1 and number 5 are complementaries. That means the blue one goes here. Then the second chakra, or the sacral chakra's complementary, is the third eye. So when I switch these, it seems to amplify the energy, and also if you're out of balance, this is what you do first. Do its opposite color first if you're out of balance. The citrine, well, it goes with the crown chakra, and the crown chakra goes to the solar plexus chakra. The heart chakra has its own complementary. The heart chakra is pink and green at the same time. The pink is self-love and the green is love of others, service to mankind. So it doesn't have a chakra energy complementary elsewhere. It is its own balancing act. Now let's give this about 15 minutes and see how Patty feels. Cleansing with sage is one of the most time-honored traditions. Just put the smoke around the stone. Knowing when a stone is energetically cleansed is an intuition process, but generally it changes the translucent quality of the stone. Another way to cleanse your stones is to set them on a bed of salt when you're not using them. All of your personal stones should be cleaned once a week or so. Stones that are used for environmental programming should be cleansed maybe once a month. Generally, the more people that are in contact with the stone, the more it should be cleansed. Your garden stones, they never need to be cleansed because the energy of the earth, the sun, the moon, the rain, the wind, all of these natural occurrences will keep your garden stones in great shape. Hi there, I'm Teresa Maron and welcome to my office. Today we're going to talk about 3 different ways to use the power of crystals and gemstones in your office. First of all, stones of protection. This is a combination of 3 stones that work together to cleanse the negative ions from the atmosphere caused by computers and electronic devices that we all use every day in our offices. Now the first one is sodalite. Now this is a beautiful, very dense, low vibration stone in a beautiful indigo color. Many people might mistake a sodalite for a lapis lazuli, but if you look closely, lapis has inclusions of gold and sodalite has inclusions of white calcite, so they do look different. Sodalite is the hardest working stone really on the planet right now, absorbing geopathic stress, and as long as you cleanse it once a week on the earth, it will do a very good job for you. Now the second stone on this team is this black tourmaline. Isn't that beautiful? Black tourmaline has many special magical powers that help out in your office, but the most important thing is that it can catch very fast-moving electronic waves and works with sodalite to make sure that you're completely protected. It needs to be cleansed once a week on the earth as well. Now the third stone in this powerful trio is green calcite. Now this is a beautiful bright green color. It's just gorgeous. And what it does is once sodalite and black tourmaline have cleansed the air, calcite goes back in and, like scrubbing bubbles, gets rid of any of the residual effects. And calcite doesn't need to be cleansed quite that often, but I would just go ahead and get in the habit of doing that over the weekend if you work Monday to Friday, but at least carve out one day a week to cleanse your stones of protection. Now the second tip I'm going to give you is to use heart chakra stones right on your desk. And every time I have a difficult decision, or I'm maybe faced with writer's block, or something's not quite resolving, I just take a minute. I place my hands on the heart chakra stones. I take a deep breath. And I just give myself a minute to just let things resolve, get some clarity, some intention and discernment over what fantastic outcome that I would like to manifest with an email, a phone call, a client meeting, an idea. It really does help. This is something that we all need to get in the habit of doing while we're in this fast-paced, quick-moving world, is to remember the value of just taking a moment to power down and let things work themselves out. It's a great tip. Now the third and final tip that I'm going to share with you actually has to do a little bit with the certification program that I run, and that is developing your intuition. I keep a bowl of stones right here on my desk, and each day I will choose one of them to be my stone of the day or gemstone of the day. And you can also use it as a project. But let's just say if I were to choose this beautiful amethyst, it would just really heighten my intuition and remind me every time I look at it that day that I'm here for a higher purpose. And that higher purpose is more important than getting caught up in the day-to-day stuff that really does not serve my life plan. And that's how I use my gemstone of the day. Thanks so much for stopping by my office, and I'm sure that pretty soon you will be using the healing powers of crystals and gemstones in your office as well. Thank you. Hi there. Your home is a sacred space, and there's many ways that you can use the power of crystals and gemstones to hold a vibration as kind of an accountability partner. A beautiful crystal or gemstone can actually hold an emotional place for you that with practice and by using these stones over and over, you can actually enter into a whole different state, like a meditative state, simply by accessing the vibration of the stone. Now, many of you have heard me speak about creating this beautiful indigo room in your third eye chakra. Well, let me show you the stone that I use to hold that space for me. This is a piece of lapis lazuli, one of the most intense third eye chakra stones that you can use. And this is always in my meditation room, holding that space of a deeply meditative state to access the spiritual side, the spiritual nature of my humanness. That's what I feel is the most refreshing thing that you can do. 15 minutes a day, what you want to do is just try to enter this space. And when I see this stone and when I use this stone, it just right away puts me into a different state. Now, crystals are very good for this too. Let me show you a couple of my favorites. First of all, my generator crystal. I use this stone in my meditation space as well, and it holds the space for me, or the vibration, for me that my entire room is completely clear of any negative energy. And after you do this for just a little while, let's say give it 6 weeks, you will start to feel that the minute you enter your sacred space, you will feel different. There will be a change that comes kind of subconsciously that you don't really have to think about, and it's very refreshing. So that's how we create sacred spaces in our homes. Another crystal that I'd like to show you is my Lemurian wand. Now, this crystal is very beautiful, and the thing about the Lemurians is they hold all of this information that you can access. I'll show you exactly how I use this. I place it at the base of my first finger, use my finger here, and just hold it. Now, as you kind of rub the ridges on it, and if you are in this deeply meditative state, and you're wanting guidance, or you've set a strong intention for your meditation, this is the crystal that I would call my go-to crystal to get me from one level to the next, or to bring about a positive transformational change. Lemurian crystal wand. It's wonderful. One more. This is a smoky quartz crystal. And if you know anything about the chakra energy, you would know that this is base chakra, the smoky quartz end, and then the clear crystal end is quartz crystal, which is crown chakra. So this is a stone that can get you all the way through every chakra energy very, very quickly. That would be an excellent thing to do if you'd had a very intense day, to completely change gears for the evening's entertainment. So, thank you for visiting, and I suggest that you get yourself a crystal or a gemstone for your meditative state. People ask me all the time what kind of crystals and gemstones that I use in my home in order to raise the vibration and make everything feel fabulous. So I wanted to show you a couple of my favorite stones for environmental programming in your home. First of all, I use some amethysts at the front. These are kind of beautiful amethyst chunks and clusters that add an amazing feeling of calmness and intuition and being able to feel what other people in your home are feeling. Paired with a citrine like this, it gives discernment and clarity and the kind of beautiful feelings that everyone would want to have at a dinner party or when you're gathering for a family event. Amethyst and citrine are the two best combinations for environmental programming in your home. Another good choice is a crystal ball, like this. A crystal ball, by its shape, is going to facilitate the circle of life and send its information and its vibration in all directions at once. Really raises your vibration of your home. Using the healing power of gemstones for your yard and garden gives a feeling of fun and whimsy with crystals and gemstones for your plants. For example, this is an example of how I use gemstones in a hanging plant to kind of hold energy around the entire area where I have my vegetable garden and my beautiful garden.